Welcome back to the Sherwood Urban Farm. Today's video, we're here in my garage. The wind is howling, so I thought let me just make a video on how I build a coop. This is going to be a small coop. It's going to be 1.5 meters by 800 centimeters, 800 millimeters. And it is going to be for guinea pigs. But this size coop we have used for chicks, ducklings, rabbits, quail, anything small enough. We even at the moment we have the same size coop, and we've got 2 bantam, well, they're pullets, they're not fully sized, but they sleep in there, and in the day they're free range. So I'm going to show you how I build this coop, and I'm going to show you what material I use and just how easy it is. Let's get into it. Right, so for this project we're going to need some wood. I use brandering, so that is you get them in lengths of 3 meters, and then it is 35 millimeters by 35 millimeters. It's used in roofing and stuff. Very useful for building coops as well, because it's not too big and it's not too heavy. And then you're going to need a jigsaw or some kind of saw. I use a jigsaw because I'm too scared to use table saws and stuff. And then you're going to need screws. I use a 25 millimeter screw and then a 30 millimeter screw. And then we're also going to need some welded wire, or any kind of chicken wire mesh will work as well. I happen to have welded wire. And then I use for the roofing, I use corrugated metal. Oh, you're going to need a cordless drill. You're also going to need Modesty blocks used in cabinet making. And I like to use these. I like to use chair brackets. So I'm just going to use this on the actual frame of the biggest frame of the structure, and then all the other little uprights and things. I'm going to use these Modesty blocks. I mean, they are quite strong. I mean, this is what they build kitchen cupboards and your bedroom cupboards with. So I'll use these as well. And I mean, this was champion cheap. This was sort of like 12 rand for 10. You can't beat that. Right, so the first thing I'm going to do is measure off all the lengths that I need. I actually did a drawing, which I'm very proud of, because normally I just wing it, but I didn't want to come home and then realize I'm short one length of brandering, and I'm glad I did, because I was just going to get 4 lengths, and for this project I actually need 5. So I'm going to measure off the lengths that I need cut, and then I'm going to cut it here with the jigsaw. Let me get to that. Measured all my things out, measured twice, cut once. Now I'm going to cut all my wood, and I'm going to stick you again on the hyperlapse so that you can not have to hear the noise. Don't forget, safety first. We've got this hearing protection and safety goggles. And then I am going to put the wood in this vise and then cut it with a jigsaw. If you could get like a miter saw or a table saw, it is actually much better because it gives you a nice clean cut. So the first thing I'm going to do is build the sides. And then I can flip it on its side and then do the rest of it. So let me do that. Okay, so I had to stop, and it's the next day after the next day. I mean, the whole weekend has gone by. Now I've got a chance again to start on the project again. Right, so I'm going to attach the brackets to this side first instead of trying to attach it to the frame. I'm first attaching it there, then I can attach it to the frame. My family have gone off with the batteries for the cordless drill to use on their RC cars, so I'm using the corded drill now. That's fine, it works actually quite nice. I've got the main frame up. I must just say that if you're a lady and you're making this thing, rather use these connector blocks. They are so easy. If you notice, I use with the brackets, I'll take the hammer and then I'll knock the drywall screw in a bit so that I'm not sort of fiddling around. I know my husband and my son, they just go zzz, zzz, zzz. I'm not that person. But with this, you see, you put it in like that and then it balances. So the little screws are in the little holes already and then you just need to sink them in, which makes it so much easier. I made a mistake and I didn't cut these ones long enough. So I had an extra piece and then it was long and so I just had to cut that off. Then I'm going to take the offcut of the extra piece and I'm going to attach it to one of these ones, and I am going to use, we've got these metal strips, so then I'm going to attach that piece of extra length on there and then I'm going to use it like that. There we go. Wow. Oh, I only actually needed one. Well, that's grand. Okay. And then I think I'll attach it like that. So for this, I'm just going to I'm going to make sure that the roof sheeting is flush with the one edge, because that's the edge that is going to be attached with the hinges. So you want it to be able to lift without the roof sheeting hindering the nice lifting action. And I am sort of just going to check it that it's even on either side, and then I'm going to just use the same drywall screws. I mean, you could use washers as well. I'm not going to use the washers. And then you're going to put the screws through on the lower end of the corrugation, obviously, right? You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to get a punch. And I'm first going to punch the holes. And then I just did every second dip in the corrugation. I'm not going to put any screws along the length, the sides. I'm just going to put them this way. I'm not going to attach the lid yet because I first want to attach the cladding on the outside. So the next step is to add the welded wire. I have got one long strip which has just been lying around the property, but it's just too short to go all the way around. So I'll add in another little piece like that, and I'm just going to use the normal drywall screws, but I'm going to add a washer to it to increase its sort of footprint. And then I'm going to add in strips of decking which I've got, because the roof sheeting, once cut in half, is just not long enough to match up with the length of the lid, and I actually think it's going to look really nice. But now it's time to put the hinges in. So what I found is if I use another piece of brandering and unbalance it like that, because I don't have anybody to hold it for me. So if you're all by yourself, then it works really well if you take the strip of brandering and then you kind of balance the lid on that strip so that it's the same height as the crossbar, which you're going to attach the hinges to. So you're first going to attach the hinges to the actual lid, and then you can balance it on that crossbar, and then you'll be able to attach the hinges to the crossbar, and then the lid will be able to open nicely. Adding a string here just to prevent the lid from opening too far. Now I'm going to just use another strip of brandering through which I've drilled quite a big hole. I think I used a 5.5 millimeter drill bit, and that will then create almost like a hinge, because once I've put the screw in, then it can sort of swivel, and all we're going to use that is to prop up the lid so that you don't have to hold it up when you're busy working inside the coop. I'm not going to use screws to attach the top of the wire section. I'm just going to use cable ties on the one side. So the cable ties are going to function as a hinge, and in that way I'll be able to open and close that side of the coop, and then you'll be able to, reach down and get the animal out there, or just clean out or whatever. But it gives you access to that side of the coop. Well, there it is. This is such an easy coop to build. If I can build it, then you can definitely build it too. So I really hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, then please like and subscribe and share with your friends. I hope you have a fabulous day further, and I will see you in the next video.